Good morning. Welcome back to the course on Advanced Green Manufacturing Systems. We have discussed creativity in the last lecture. So, this is the continuation of that lecture, and we will discuss frugal innovation in this lecture. The contents would go like this. I will introduce what frugal innovation, then we will see what is the difference between frugal and regular innovation, then we will see what is reverse diffusion process, because frugal innovation is sometimes known as reverse innovation. Frugal innovation, the challenges those are there for frugal innovation, the process in frugality, examples on frugal work, and frugal versus sustainable information, which is our prime concern in this course. What is frugal innovation? Frugal innovation is reducing the complexity in the products, or making the products out of scrap, making the products out of the things which are available around. Frugal innovation has a beauty that it does not have a great scientific background behind it. It is just something that is we copy from the products which are available in the market. For instance, one product is one of the vendors, he developed a microscope costing $1. It was just a paper. On the paper the lenses were there, and we fold the paper, it develops in such a way that the eyepiece and the objective lens are aligned and one can see the space. However, the power was not the concern, the quality of the product was not the concern, but that was a frugal innovation. One of the vendors in India, one of the creative guy I could say, he developed a refrigerator which is known as mitti cool. He developed a refrigerator out of sand, and it can insulate your food or the items from the atmosphere up to some level. So, this is all frugal innovation. We will see what is frugal innovation, and we will also see some frugal products here. The study of innovation has been subject to various paradigmatic shifts in recent decades, from push to pull, from open to closed, from producer to user, and from profit driven to social. Earlier what happened, people just produced the products and pushed in the market, those were all sold. Now if we even need to purchase a pen, there are hundreds of competitors. If I need to find a pen, there are hundreds of competitors which are already in the market. We cannot just push the product whatever is available. Now the producer, it is all consumers market this day we say, because consumers can choose which product to buy or not, those things are there. So those changes in the understanding of innovation have often been preceded by radical transformation of the economic and social landscape. In the past decade, yet another such shift has started to materialize. This is frugal innovation. Frugal innovation as a process, frugal innovation discovers new business models, reconfigures value chains, and redesign products to serve users who face extreme affordability constraints in a scalable and sustainable manner. You see, there are certain features here. It is number one is new business models, number two value chains, reconfiguring of value chains, number three is redesign. Users who face extreme affordability constraints. The frugal innovation, the basic definition is generally it reduces the cost of the goods and tends to provide the goods available to the maximum or to the masses. Okay. So, it involves either overcoming or tapping institutional voids and resource constraints to create more inclusive markets. This is the definition given by Bhatti in 2011. Simply, frugal innovation provides functional solutions through few resources for the many who have little means. A few products which are developed by big companies, those are also called frugal, examples I could quote Nokia 1100. When it came to the market, it had certain features. It was such a rough and tough mobile that people call it a frugal innovation. Many people, or almost maximum number of people, can afford this product. Then Tata Nano car, it was also a kind of frugal innovation. But when we are talking about frugal innovation and sustainability, we'll see the products, those are developed from the resources, those are just available around us, and they are also green. They had less embodied energy in them, okay, they produced less pollution, and the material is biodegradable. Those things, if they will discuss how frugal is also sustainable. Frugal versus regular innovation. Before, okay, frugal versus regular innovation, I would like to add one more topic here. Creativity versus innovation. Because we just had a look on what is creativity. So I like to differentiate between the creativity and innovation. This is creativity and this is innovation. Now, what is creativity? Creativity is an act of creating new ideas, imaginations, and possibilities. Innovation is introducing something new to the market. When using the creative process, something is generated. You know, it is generally said, if you generate 100 ideas, there are only 2 which are actually producible. If out of those 2, one product is there which can actually serve the purpose, that is innovation. In a way, I can say, if in creativity, if any idea gets an application, that is innovation. So I can say the definitions I have just said. So I can say the process here is, it is imaginative, okay, and it is productive. Okay, innovation is also quantifiable. Quantifying certain techniques are being discussed by Professor Deepu Philip in this course. Innovation is quantifiable, creativity is generally subjective, it cannot be quantified, all the creative ideas cannot be quantified, but yes, we can have a number of ideas which can help us to develop something out of them, and innovation is aided by creativity. So this is non-quantifiable for the maximum number of times. Okay, then is creativity is relating to something new, and innovation is relating to something, introducing something new, not only thinking. Also, there is risk in innovation. Creativity, if I just speculating, the risk is low. Risk is lower and risk is higher here. Higher risk, lower risk. This is the difference between creativity and innovation. Again, creativity is the characteristic of a person to generate new ideas, alternatives, solutions, and possibilities in a unique and different way, while innovation is an act of application of the new ideas which creates some value for the business organization, for the government, or for the people. That is innovation. Now, what is regular innovation and what is frugal innovation? In general innovation, we just had number of ideas, R&D departments are keep on working in their projects, and they produce number of prototypes, and there is high cost involved. I would just say frugal is a low cost innovation in this case. So I can say, if this is the performance and this is cost, this is the regular innovation. So here we have the cheap products or low cost, low quality. And if we ought to get the equivalent performance in a lower cost, that is known as frugal innovation, which means frugal. Right. So, this is a major difference between frugal and regular innovation. In frugal innovation, I can even put a chart here. In frugal innovation and regular innovation, what is the difference? The environmental, the cost, this is one thing, is this is low cost, this is high cost, high performance. This can be low cost and medium to high performance. The sources for the standard innovation or this regular innovation is the entrepreneurs or R&D departments. Okay, this is in the large organizations. Okay, those who can afford certain failures, because if we are thinking of innovation, sometimes there are certain experiments which we need to conduct and we fail for the multiple times, and in the end we might get something that is usable. So, in that case, large organizations or entrepreneurs who are risk takers, and these entrepreneurs are here as well. Okay, they are risk takers, and apart from them they are also creative, right. Then social movements sometimes, okay, some social requirements like Clean India, if we can say, or produce or make in India. These things sometimes leads to frugal innovation. If some social movement is there, okay, then sustainable innovation, right. The process here is open in frugal innovation. Here it is the closed process. This is the difference between frugal and regular innovation. Also, the users, if we see the chart, the product life cycle chart, we had innovators who were risk takers, who buy the products which is just in its infancy, when the product is just introduced in the market. When the product is at a majority level, laggards buy those products. So, those laggards can buy these products as well. So, this in regular innovation, who uses the products? It is used by the innovators or early adopters. Early adopters or innovators, okay, the people who have high income, high education or high risk taking people. This is generally used, frugal innovation is generally used by the laggards. Laggards or late followers. So, this is the difference between, this is cost, this is the innovators who actually innovate the sources, who innovates. So, this is the kind of process and this is the users, right. Now, frugal versus social entrepreneurship. The two are not mutually exclusive, nor is one subset of the other. Mutually exclusive means which the two items are mutually exclusive if they are not at all dependent upon each other. They are not even mutually exclusive, not even one is subset of each other. So, there is some interaction, there is some overlapping. There can be overlapping concerns as frugal innovation and social enterprise commonly agree on who to benefit, but they differ on how this is best achieved. Social enterprise in general stems from a notion that the affluent, particularly those in the West, can promote development using business models that are self-sustaining. For example, in IIT Kanpur, the alumni supporting certain practices here. Recently, we have given rupees 50 lakh to an entrepreneur who has come up with an idea in agriculture business, in medical sciences, in sustainable development, all those things. These are provided by the people who are IIT alumni and who like to contribute something to society. So the innovations which are happening, the entrepreneurs, the ideas, the people apply for this funding, and the interview happens, and all those things are there. And this is frugal innovation that is supported by the social entrepreneurship and the people who can provide the funds. Now, frugal versus quality. Now, on the contrary, the frugal products needs to be highly robust given the extreme environments in which the innovation functions. Further, the innovation needs to be very intuitive to use and require very little servicing, what you might call solution for dummies. There are certain dimensions on which firms can innovate. They can innovate based upon quality, based upon the servicing's adaptability, performance, as I have mentioned before, the output cost, affordability. Now, the input costs are there, R&D, and the output cost is there. When simplification happens, this is known as frugal innovation. Simplification in a way that we reduce the cost, some facilities are compromised, but more people can afford that. We reduce, sometimes we do not consider the cost, we induce something green, we have a process that is able to produce the product in a greener way, or we have greener material and people love to purchase that. That is sustainable innovation. That is sustainable innovation, this is frugal innovation in which we have all these parameters, we can scale up, distribution, all these parameters, simplification happens and the output cost is lesser. Affordability means lesser cost. These are dimensions in which frugal innovation happen. Now, frugal reverse cost, base of pyramid innovation. What is this? The frugal innovation phenomenon may also be called as reverse innovation. If GE doesn't master reverse or frugal innovation, the emerging giants could destroy the company. It was said by Mittal. Reverse innovation is like benchmarking. If you know, benchmarking is looking for the best practices and working according to that. Whatever people are doing, for instance, iPhone is there in the market. People have produced the phone which looks like iPhone, but those are not original iPhone. That's phones which are available. They can function equivalently, not exactly same. Similar functions can happen. That is kind of reverse innovation. Though this cannot be set as a typical example, but the best examples for reverse innovation can be any product that is simplified and the cost is reduced. That can be reverse innovation. Although there are several dimensions to frugal innovation, the overarching theme is simplification in process and outcome. There can be many connotations for reverse which are similar to frugal innovation in both process and outcome. I will discuss about reverse engineering in some detail. Reverse engineering is something we copy the product, we get the 3D scans. For instance, if I need to produce this product, I can scan this thing, I can get CAD model, and that can be produced using additive manufacturing or any other ways. That is reverse engineering. Reverse innovation is a similar thing in which we innovate the idea. There are certain things which still need to be. Is reverse engineering justified? If something is patented, if some technology in iPhone is patented, rivals cannot copy that. So reverse engineering has to be very careful. We cannot copy the thing, but yes, we can produce the similar patterns. That is reverse engineering. Reverse innovation is a similar thing. reverse diffusion and globalization. Now moving up the pyramid for emerging market leaders versus traditional moving down. Now general traditional is moving top down, innovation, diffusion, it happens in this way. So base of pyramid is, or bottom of the pyramid process, this is known as BOP process. In that what happens, new emerging market forms and bottom up innovation and diffusion happens, and mass consumer needs are triggered using frugal or constraints based upon innovation from emerging markets. So this results in new emerging market with global reach, which are better equipped to fulfill the needs at the levels of the consumer pyramid in different markets. And this is taken from a reference. You can read the work by Yasir Bhatti to have more information on this. Now frugal reverse cost bottom of pyramid innovation again. Firstly, frugal or reverse innovation integrates specific needs of the bottom of the pyramid markets as a starting point and works backward to develop appropriate solutions which may be significantly different from the existing solutions designed to address needs of upmarket segment. This is just as said, we try to imitate and produce similar results, and solutions should be different so as the legal constraints are not breached. The context in which this innovation is seen occurring lies in the developing markets. It is a clear adaptation to the often poor local infrastructure facilities with respect to energy delivery systems, water access, transport infrastructure and digital access. Small applications like mobile banking. People were not able to reach banks very easily in remote areas. If there is some network, the internet is accessible, digital access is there. That is also frugal innovation. Energy delivery systems, providing power to the people in the rural, in the remote areas. Can we devise something, the methods, so as the low cost power could be delivered to them? People are working on this. Then water access, transport infrastructure, all this come in frugal innovation. Now secondly, there is reverse process of diffusion among consumers. Innovation is often perceived in the developed world as a technological revolutionary products tried and tested by innovators and early adopters. Trendy and expensive products are accepted by the top of the pyramid first, which then get trickled down to the masses or early or late majority consumers. As I said, in the top of pyramid is, these are early adopters. At the top we have early adopters and we have the late followers. This is the difference which I quoted for the frugal and regular innovation. In general innovation, what happens? Only a few people. What is there in the pyramid? It is the number of people here. It is, for instance, if we have 100 people here, we would have 50 people here, we would have 1 person here, 10 persons here. Okay? Or I can increase the number. This is 10, 100, 500, 1000. So the early adopters, any new innovation that happens because huge cost is invested in inventing a new product or in the regular innovation, that would be high cost, only a few people can afford that. That starts from this process, that is top down. Okay, general innovation. In frugal innovation, maximum number can afford because that is low cost. So this is again typical direction of innovation diffusion and frugal innovation diffusion. In this is life cycle, product life cycle. If you say these are innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. Okay, this is people who are risk takers. If the product doesn't go well, for instance, when Indica car came into the market, it didn't had a great performance. I'm talking about something a few 1 or 2 decades back. People felt that it is not giving a great performance. It was a 4 gears car. People thought that a 5th gear should be inculcated. That was, people were risk takers who purchased the new car. Then the car made certain changes and the fifth gear came into picture, and the car had the maximum sales in certain years among all the cars in the same group. Now, here I was talking about the consumption patterns. This is BOP approach, bottom of pyramid. Maximum number of people who are laggards purchase this product, and it goes from the right to left in frugal innovation diffusion. Okay, there are certain challenges in frugal innovation. First is the resource constraints refer to the resource scarcity that prevails in developed markets. Now, there are certain resource constraints because of which frugal innovation is embarked upon. Either the necessary resources are simply not available, or people lack the means to assess them. This is challenge. Second challenge refers to a variation of resource constraints that, rather than being faced at the upstream part of the value chain, concerns the downstream part. So, this is with the, you know that poverty is all present in India. You know, the poverty is, as you know, poverty is all present in the countries which are developing, and innovators have to realize that the affordability constraints, that is lack of purchasing power, can pose yet another barrier to innovation. These are the challenges in frugal innovation. Now, in moving beyond resource constraints, Bhatti addresses the institutional construct as the third challenge to innovation that exists in emerging markets. What they say, that while the features generally stifle business activity by increasing transaction costs and therefore represent a major hurdle for the multinational companies and entrepreneurs, and they at the same time create an ideal context for rethinking one's prevalent assumptions about innovation. So, there are certain big players, those can come into the picture and may intervene if some small entrepreneur comes up with a new idea. We can say the big fish will eat the smaller fishes. So, those are the challenges in frugal innovation. So, frugal innovation value chain model. The value chain model for frugal innovation, I would not discuss this in detail, but yes, you can go to this link and discuss and read more about this. So, what is there in value stream? Their upstream inputs and downstream outputs are there. We see the value in terms of frugal innovation. The upstream inputs here are skills, labor and capital, contracts, rules, trust, legitimacy. Then institutional voids are there, people who are working in frugal innovation. Resource scarcity is there. The consumers with low affordability and distribution and supply chain for access are the outputs here. So, this is value chain model for frugal innovation. We try to improve the value of the product so as it is affordable, it is distributed in a way that the people can afford it in a way, and also we will try to have sustainable innovation in this. Now, frugal innovation process, first thing is knowledge of local context. The one who is working in frugal innovation cannot think of the global availability of the things, because the things has to be available in the local market. He has to purchase something that is around, something that is within his reach, something that is accessible. Okay. So, various scholars conclude that the process of frugal innovation appears to require a high level of embeddedness in the local context of the target market. Market, here also the you can say both market and supply, suppliers and market, both are recommended to be local. Then collaboration with external partners throughout all phases of the innovation process and often from various geographies and industries seems to be another crucial part of frugal innovation process. First thing is knowledge of the local context, what is all available, what is the thing that people demand. Can I have a mix of 2 or 3 different phenomena or contexts or products and develop something, or can I use something to develop something that is equivalent, that can cater the needs of the customers in a proper way, in an equivalent way. So, those are the knowledge of local context. Then is collaboration with the people, those who can help. This is the second part. Now, the purpose of external collaboration in frugal innovation process is cost, knowledge, promotion and distribution. All these are enhanced using external collaboration. It is external collaboration that helps considerably in reducing the cost of ownership of the consumer. The knowledge it enables the access to proprietary knowledge and crucial technical or market know-how, thereby shortening the learning curve, reducing the innovation risk, and ultimately increasing the quality. Promotion. It enhances the brand image and quality perception among the populations. Distribution. It allows improved access to an otherwise extremely dispersed customer base. So, distribution, if we have specific customer base, the collaboration would definitely help in that. Then clean state approach. What is clean state approach? Frugal innovation suggests that frugal innovation is to be approached within a clean state approach. Now, it is important to note that clean state does not refer to stripping down of an existing product, but rather to approaching an innovation with an open mindset and starting from scratch, using scrap, using something is available, that is clean state. It is not completely creativity where we completely forget the proven fact. We have something in mind, but because we are going to sell something to them in the market, that is the clean state approach that has to be practiced here. Now, using existing technologies. Now, arguing a clean state approach does not mean that firms pursuing frugal innovation should discard existing technologies entirely. Whatever the technologies are available locally, or that we can do something at a rural level, at a domestic level, those have to be appreciated and are to be used in frugal innovation. Next is business model innovation. This is the last step in the process. The frugal innovation often involves creation of new business models, as in many cases then existing approach to doing business does not fit the disruptive character of frugal innovations. Now, business model means distribution, the production. General business model is there is something that we purchase, we produce, then we market and we sell. Ways of marketing are to be devised, ways of purchase have to be devised, something a different business model has to be developed in frugal innovation. So, this is frugal innovation process. Next, I have certain examples in frugal innovations, those are very prominent in India. First example is Mitti-Cool. Mitti-Cool is a ultimate example in frugal innovation. This is Mansukh Bhai, who was a clay craftsman. He identified the cooling properties of clay and came up with this refrigerator that can keep the things cool. So, it became an instant hit in his village at first, and later it had no look back. It had a great market in India. So, his factory is producing other kitchenware out of clay. This village entrepreneur has recognized and awarded by national and international organizations. So, certain traits of the innovator, of the frugal innovator, he should be able to build circular value networks. Most companies today operate linear value chains in which products are designed, produced, sold, consumed and end up in landfills. So, circular value network is when we produce something that can be recycled and reused. This is something happens in frugal innovation. So, in frugal innovation one can think of reusing, recycling and all those stream in sustainable manufacturing. So, this is Mitti-Cool as one of the examples. Next example is motorbike tractor. This is developed by a guy who turned a motorbike into a tractor. You know, he is sowing his field using this motorbike. So, he found the things which are around him. Things which are around him, he had a motorbike, he cannot afford a tractor. He developed a gadget or an attachment with his motorbike and is working in his field. This is frugal innovation. Frugal innovation does not have a great or a calculated scientific background. The only thing is that if we use that, it worked. In India, this is known as jugaad. Jugaad is an Hindi word. So, this is when we try to mix 2 or 3 things together and we try to imitate something original, something there is in the market, that is frugal innovation. I think this is making you more clear how frugal innovation happens and what is exactly frugal innovation. So in just 30 minutes, this motorbike tractor can plow an acre of land with a meager 2 liters of fuel. So this bullet Santi has helped to increase productivity by cutting the cost of labor or bullocks to plow the land. His invention has earned a patent in India and in US as well. Next example can be Jaipur leg. This is a leg that is produced by Dr. Sethi, also known as Jaipur leg. It is a rubber based prosthetic leg for the people with below knee amputation. So this invention led Dr. Sethi to win the awards in 1981 and the Padma Shri by Indian government in the same year. So the NGO Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahitya Samiti, that is based in Jaipur, Rajasthan, the world's largest organization serving the disabled, it is receiving the government and voluntary support from home and abroad to enable the disabled to stand on their feet. So this is one of the examples of frugal innovation. Then is paddling washing machine. This lady Ramya, she hated washing clothes. She developed a washing machine, she developed a mechanism here and used bicycle to wash the clothes. So she invented a washing cum exercise machine. She can exercise here as well and wash the clothes. So this is frugal innovation. Now, how is frugal sustainable? If we say what is sustainable innovation, sustainable innovation is something definition given by these persons. By sustainable information, we specifically refer to innovation, the activities that contribute to the triple bottom line of sustainable development, that is economic, ecological and social benefits. If you remember, I showed you this thing, this is triple bottom line, this is sustainability, and these are 1, 2, 3, these factors 1, 2, 3. Thus, sustainable innovation can reasonably be defined as the development of new products, processes or services or technologies that contribute to the development of well-being of human needs and institutions while respecting the world's natural resources and regenerative capacity. We have talked about sustainable innovation or sustainability before. How frugal is sustainable? This is the point of concern in this lecture. Now, the goal in frugal innovation is to produce low cost products which most of the people can afford. The goal of sustainable information is to produce that is something environment friendly, that has less carbon footprint associated with it. But the frugal is also sustainable in a way. We have frugal, we have sustainable. The first goal in sustainable information is to have positive feedback for the environment. But I believe that frugal innovation has some properties of environmental or sustainable innovation as well. In general, frugal innovation is basically a new technological paradigm aiming to produce cheaper goods with minimum quality using local or cheap inputs. Because it saves materials, energy in manufacturing and use the low price goods, it contributes to the fair management of exhaustible resources. So, frugal helps to manage resources. Okay, it uses less material, less energy. The cost, if even some material is used, process is used that is having a little more cost associated with it, I can put it here. This is regular innovation, I can put sustainable innovation here. This is SI. Sustainable innovation can be high cost, it could be low cost as well, but it is having equivalent performance. This is sustainable innovation, and frugal innovation can have some intersection with sustainable innovations. Becomes something like this. This is SI. Here SI is sustainable innovation. Now, frugal innovation exhibits three important sustainable properties. Number one, the ability to repair in case of failure. Repair in case of. Second is recovery of end life components. Third is recycling. This is maybe. So, this is kind of reuse. These features of frugal innovation make it sustainable. So, this is frugal come sustainable. These are the features of frugal innovation which make it sustainable. So, frugal innovation also fits well with the base of circular economy. In one sense, frugal innovation as a new technology leaves a mark within the perspective of sustainable development. It seems to us that first statement that frugal innovation tends to modify technology of technical change in greener direction. So, in terms of environmental technology policy, because it involves the engine technology change, frugal innovation creates a useful lever to build up a transition towards a greener economy. So, though the production of cheaper goods which correspond well to the needs of poor in developing and developed economies, frugal innovation as a new or the emerging phenomena or the technology could boost consumption and push demand in a durable way. Sustainable innovation is directly related to new and generally green growth regime, and frugal innovation can match greener growth, and it is not incompatible with a strong growth model that exhausts natural resources. So, final quote, I can say frugal innovation is basically a new technological development. Its characteristics lie in the space of technologies. Sustainable information has to match the firm's objectives and with those with the stakeholders and the society. So, this is what is frugal innovation and sustainable innovation. Next, to recapitulate, we discussed what is frugal innovation, how is frugal different from the regular or standard innovation, what is reverse diffusion process, challenges faced in frugal innovation, value chain model, what is it? Okay, the certain inputs are there, certain changes in value are there, certain outputs come. How do we pursue frugal innovation? Certain broad steps are there, some examples on frugal innovation we discussed, and also we discussed frugal and sustainable innovation, how can it be overlapping or how it can have an intersection sets. Next, I have tasks for the students. In frugal innovation, the product that you have identified, try to observe the materials or the objects available around you or accessible to you, and try to have a product made out of these. You can do reverse innovation as well. The product you have chosen, you might have chosen pen, chair, shoe, table. Try to see the things which are around you. Can I make a table out of the scrap that is available? Can I develop a chair with something that we need to throw? Can I see some table or chair that is available in the market? For instance, some chair is available, you just change the legs of the chair with something that is available with the sticks that you have at your home, or something you have thermocol in the place of cushion. Can you develop a low cost or something that is usable for the people or for you? This can be one of the practice in frugal innovation. So, let us meet in the next lecture and we will discuss quality function deployment, and this week would end there. Then we will have design for environment and certain other aspects in green manufacturing systems. Thank you.